howdy. This is Johnny Estes with CMI Gold and Silver.
And I'm Shannon Estes.
Thanks for joining our show again, Johnny on the Spot, where we're going to talk about all things precious metals.
Yes, CMI Gold and Silver has been in Phoenix for more than 50 years, started by my father in 1973. We are the oldest precious metals firm in the United States.
Yeah, and you can reach us on our website at cmigs.com. That's cmigs.com.
On Instagram, we are CMI Gold and Silver, and on Facebook, we are CMI Gold and Silver.
And you can also find us on YouTube by searching CMIGS.
Today's topic is understanding 90% quote-unquote junk silver coins.
Well, my question is, junk silver coins, are they really junk?
Junk silver coin is a misnomer because silver is a tangible asset. The metal itself cannot lose its intrinsic value. A bag of 90% silver coins are not junk. They will always be worth money.
Yeah, despite that unflattering term junk silver, which is one I don't like. I prefer pre-1965 or even 90% silver, but it refers to U.S. dimes, quarters, and half dollars that were minted pre-1965. And that's a little confusing because if you have a 1965 quarter, it's only worth 25 cents. It has to be 1964 and older, and it's worth checking your change. The composition of these pre-1965 coins is 90% silver, and that's kind of a hard math thing, but we're gonna get into that in a second. So, but they're not worthless for sure. They received that junk silver term because they're not numismatic or collectible, meaning that when you get a 1964 Kennedy half dollar, it's only worth the weight in silver and not anything else. There is no collectible value, which makes them more valuable than their face dollar. So 50-cent coin is not worth 50 cents. If it's silver, it's worth much more.
Yes, it is. So let's talk about what exactly a bag, quote unquote, in the industry of 90% silver is. A bag in the industry holds a face value of $1,000. When the coins were shipped to the banks for distribution from the Fed, they arrived in bulk bags. We have one here of 1,000 face value. And a size of 1,000 face bag, if we had to describe it, would be 2 loaves of bread, okay? However, 1,000 face bag is weighs about 55 and a half pounds on a bathroom scale. And so there you go.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So bags of 90% silver, this is how the banks would receive it from the mint. And in a 1,000 face bag, or in the industry we call this a bag, in half dollars there'd be 2,000 coins. In quarters there'd be 4,000 quarters. And in dimes there'd be 10,000 dimes. And each one of those represents 1,000 face dollars. 10 dimes is $1, 4 quarters is $1, 2 halves are $1. And so in this bag, when it was minted from the U.S. Mint, it contained 723 ounces. But because of wear and tear and being wore down, I mean, you can see quarters and dimes that are almost slick. In the industry, we call it 715 ounces. And so a bag of halves could actually yield more silver because half dollars weren't circulated as much as quarters. When you went and got change, they didn't give you a half dollar. They gave you 2 quarters, right, instead of a half dollar. And so the half dollars were not circulated as much. And in my opinion, there's less wear surface on a half dollar than there is 5 dimes or 2 quarters. And so just the sheer mechanics of it, they wore less, which means there might be a little bit more silver in a bag of halves than dimes and quarters.
Yes. We just don't see 50-cent pieces being used as change very often. So let's talk about the face value versus the silver content.
Okay. Well, circulated half dollars, they're 50 cents. That's a 50-cent piece.
That's a face value.
Say face value. You can get 50 cents. You can get half dollars still today, but they're not silver. The silver ones are going to contain 0.3575 troy ounces of pure silver. Okay, and if we do the math, we had silver at 35, which it could be up or down, depending on the time of year. The silver content value is approximately $12.50 for one $1/2 or 1/50 piece. And so the formula looks like this. You take the spot price of silver, whatever it is, and you times that by that 0.3575, and that tells you what the spot price of your $1/2 is worth. And like we said, $35 is about $12.50.
So that's the silver value at that time, depending on where the spot price of silver is.
Right, and not the collectible value.
So let's talk about quarters.
Well, quarters, it's going to be half of that, and anybody can do the math in your head right now is the winner. That's 0.17875, or you could round it to 0.18. But if you do that same formula, 35 times the spot silver of $35 times that 0.17875, a quarter is going to have a value of about $5.70. So it's important to check your change, for sure.
Yes, it is. So let's talk about dimes, since we're doing all the coins.
For me, dimes is the easiest one, because if there are 715 ounces in this, a dime is a 1,000th of that, and so you just move the decimal place. So each dime has 0.0715
Troy ounces.
Troy ounces in it.
Which is the unit of measure for silver for precious metals.
Correct. And so at $35 silver, we do the math. Spot silver times 0.0715. Dimes are worth about $2.50. And it's kind of cool because a $1/2 is $12.50. So a full dollar is 25. A full dollar of dimes is 25. It's the same math every time.
Yes. Yeah, so now I want to show a little bit.
Before you do that.
Okay.
Before you do that, this is really confusing. So if you have questions, just call us. Our non-commissioned brokers, we're going to help you out. And we're going to explain it further until you can figure it out. So it's tough. It was tough for me to figure out when I first got into the industry.
Okay, we also have created, I'll talk about this in a minute, a short video summarizing this, doing the calculations, just brief couple-minute video.
It's worth watching.
Find on YouTube about this with all the calculations done. But what I'd like to do now is kind of
have some fun
and talk a little bit more about the difference between a silver coins and non-silver, or what we call clad coins.
Right. So on the radio, you should hear it, but if you're watching YouTube, you should hear it and see it. So if you want to see it, definitely go to the YouTube. So
I'm going to take 50 coins of a 50-cent piece that's 1964 or earlier, and this is the Kennedy $1/2 I'm using, so it's 1964, and I'm going to drop it on this table, and I want you to listen for the sound that this 90% silver coin makes as it's dropped on the table and hits the table as well as hits the other coins, because when we drop the clad in a moment, it's going to be a different sound.
Yep, so there you go.
So I'm doing the 90%.
Turn your radio up.
I'm doing the 90% first. Okay, so that's the 90% coins, and he'll move those out of the way, and then I'm going to do now, I pulled the wrong one. I'm going to do the clad. Again, the same number of coins, 50 $1/2, what I'm using. Here we go.
Thud.
Okay, I could hear the difference. I hope you can also, but I'm going to do it one more time with another set of coins so that you can try to listen again for the sound. Here, why don't you take this for me?
Okay.
And I'll give you the rest of the coins.
Oh boy, I get to do it.
And again, these are the 90% silver coins.
Okay, we ready?
Oh, that didn't work.
And there was the clad one that came right after it.
Yeah, there was a hole in the bag. So let me gather them up, and we will do the 90% silver coin. If you want to hold on to those for me, I'll gather these up for you.
Boy, when Seth Leapson comes in, he's going to have coins everywhere.
one more thing. I got to pick up a few more. Okay, here we go with the clad.
Definitely
Okay.
difference.
I can hear a difference. I hope you guys could also.
Yeah.
Okay, so the sound test is one way to know if your coins are silver because there is a definite difference. So let's talk a little bit about why investors choose 90% silver, quote unquote, junk coins. And as I mentioned, there is a video we have that'll help with this a little bit later. Just search, you can find it on YouTube or you can search our website, cmigs.com, and type in junk silver in our website search bar, and you'll find that video also.
Sure, yeah. So, I mean, most investors buy this because of a couple of reasons. It has a lot of practical purposes. A lot of people are concerned about the dollar and any fiat currency and how it gets weaker and weaker and weaker as we do more and more quantitative easing, right? The great thing about the silver is it cannot lose its intrinsic value as being silver. It doesn't even matter if you rub all the data off of it or if it's dirty or whatever. It's still going to be silver, and it still can be used as silver. I guess suffice it to say that investors like it because they're always going to be worth something. You're not going to lose the value of the silver by storing it in your house, whereas some investments you're going to lose the value as it comes and goes.
So even though it's called junk silver, it's not worthless, and it takes more storage, as you can tell.
The biggest thing is it takes storage.
It takes a lot more storage than a pure form.
This is 55 pounds, and so now we would never ship you a 55-pound bag. If you bought 1,000 face from us, we would ship it in 2 half bags like this one right here, and that's much easier to handle.
Yes.
But we thought we'd bring a full bag in for show and tell here.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about the premiums on the 90% silver coin, or the cost above the spot silver on this type of a form or format of silver.
Yeah. Okay. So premiums on this stuff they fluctuate pretty hard. Sometimes essentially when the spot price, how do I say this? When people are buying metal like crazy, this premiums go up because there's only a limited supply of 90% silver in the market. There have been times that we have seen the premium half or more than the spot price.
Yes. I do remember this. It's back before Y2K, the premium on the 90% silver coin was, I believe silver was in the range of $5 an ounce, and the premium was near $2.50. So that was half the spot price of silver, and so that was a very high premium. Even just a couple years ago, I believe it was the winter of 2023, the premium on the 90% product was higher than it rose a little bit. It was higher than it normally is. Normally, in a typical market, the 90% coin is as a great value for investment because the premium is often lower than other silver products, but you have to keep an eye on it, and sometimes other silver products are the better value and the better buy for investment.
Sure, and if you have any questions about that, here again, call us up. Our non-commissioned brokers, we're all friends and family. We're going to help you navigate that. But just keep in mind that the premium on this fluctuates a lot because they will never make this again.
That's true. Now the premium right now is extremely low, and so again, just keep an eye on that. But also on this kind of interesting. I don't know. There's a difference in the look between these two, the clads and the 90% silver. Plus, you're holding, with this, especially with the Kennedy, for example, history in your hand in the sense that there's something special. These are pieces of American monetary history. These coins were in circulation when our currency was backed by precious metals.
Yeah. The Kennedy $50 was minted in 1964. That was a year after his assassination.
Yes.
And they minted quite a bit of them. But I think we've talked about it, but when you're looking at silver coins, and this one happens to be a shinier one, but you can see that the edge of this coin, it's silver all the way through. Whereas if I pick up at the clad coin, I can see that there is a band in there that's basically it's copper sandwiched between some nickel palladium. And so these coins, you can really tell real quick if it's not by the sound, you can tell by the look. And
you can tell by the date.
By the date, and honestly, I can tell by the feel. I can feel them in my hand. Silver just feels better for some reason.
Yes. So these coins, the 90%, were in circulation, as I said, when our currency was backed by precious metals. But the coins also have stories that go beyond their silver content. I mean, the mercury dime was in circulation
World War II.
In World War II, and so there's a lot of history there.
I mean, even it's a whole other show, but even silver dollars, old Morgan silver dollars. I like to think about how many cowboys that fed and how many drinks it bought and how much stuff it would tell a whole story all by itself.
From a practical standpoint, these coins are also incredibly divisible. With junk silver, you have the dimes, the quarters, and the half dollars. Very small denominations of silver if that's what you're going to need.
Yeah. And just don't be scared because every coin dealer in the United States is going to know what these are worth. I mean, and just we only ask that you beware that do your due diligence when you speak to anybody. And of course, we'll buy your 90% silver if you have it, no matter where you bought it from.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit more about storage of 90%. As we mentioned, it takes up a little bit more room than perhaps some pure silver items.
Storage is an issue for sure. It's easier to stack up 100-ounce bars, and this is 715 ounces. I could stack 7 bars and take a lot less room for sure. But the nice thing about 90% is you can handle it. You don't have to wear gloves or nothing like that. Well, I suggest you wear gloves because the money is filthy, but not because you're getting it dirty, but because it's getting you dirty. Whereas some of the other bullion nationally minted items, when they get tarnished or get bent up or scratched up, then you're going to get kind of dinged on that because nobody wants to buy a silver eagle that's tarnished and beat up. They want clean and pristine ones. So just keep that in mind when you're storing your silver.
So you can handle them without worrying about diminishing its worth or their value. There's also a certain privacy aspect to this type of a coin. Also, most of the time, people are just going to think these are old coins, not necessarily.
What's the difference between this one and this one? I mean, in your pocket, on the table, nobody would know.
Probably not.
It's kind of like stealth wealth.
Stealth wealth, yes. So let's talk about, we talked to readdress some of the ways that we can identify these coins, and the easiest way is the date. And anything, a dime, a quarter, or a half dollar, 1964 and earlier. Okay, so we're not talking about nickels. So anything 65 or later, it's not silver. There's a small caveat with the half dollar. There was a few years between 65 and 69 where this half dollar was made with 40% silver and not 90%. So you need to just double check those half dollars.
Yeah, but if you're getting one that's 65 to 69, you definitely don't want to spend it as a regular half dollar. You want to put that aside because there is some silver in there.
Yes. Okay. So again, we talked about the premiums. We talked about the 1,000-ounce bag being a standard bag. It weighs 55.5 pounds. Half bags, which is a 500 face value, are available along with a 250 face and a 100 face. Any size bag is available depending on how much you want to invest in this type of a product. 715 ounces in that 1,000 face. If you do a half bag, you just divide that in half.
355.7.
357 and a half
57 and a
pounds.
half, yeah.
And then a 250 face is going to be 178.75 ounces. And then that small 100 face bag is simply 71.5 troy ounces of pure silver. When the coins are melted down, you get that much silver.
Yeah, and I can just mention real quick that if you have a budget and you say that I want to put 11,500 in junk silver, you can give us that number, and we will get you as close to that number as possible with a custom bag.
Yes. So, what's a key takeaway?
The key takeaways here is that junk silver is cool. If you can store it, everybody should own a little bit of junk silver. Even if you own 100-ounce bars and silver rounds, junk silver is important at low premiums. And I'm going to say that, at low premiums.
Let's call it 90% silver
90%
coin.
silver
It's
coin,
not,
thank you.
It's not junk, but
You're
it
the one
does.
that got me on junk.
It does deserve serious consideration, especially if the premium is right. So,
Oh my goodness! And what a cool coin to own. I mean, if you could pull one out and carry it in your pocket, I mean, you don't know the stories that 1964 or that silver dollar can carry. And it's great to have some real money in your pocket for a change too. I carry some silver in my pocket all the time because I like the feel of it, and I think it's cool to carry.
okay, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening to Johnny on the Spot's Decoding the Precious Metals Market on KKNT 960 The Patriot. Future topics, we're going to have precious metals storage discussion, and then after that, we're going to talk about the spot price, how that's obtained for the metals, and also in the future, we're going to talk about the gold-silver ratio and what that is.
Yeah, this is going to be some great shows for us, for sure. We're going to be here every Saturday morning at 7:30 on KKNT 960. Or you can listen to this or find it where you find your normal podcasts. Of course, please visit our website, cmigs.com, cmigs.com. And, our website, Shannon, is built for education. Your dad did that. He did a great job on educating our clients. So.
Yes, he did. He did do that. We always have low premiums, so be sure to check out our specials page tab and on the home page for the best deals, even though all of our regular pricing is also very low all the time. And remember, we've been serving investors since 1973 with non-commissioned brokers, transparent pricing, and personalized service that comes from being a family-owned business.
Yeah, and whether you're a first-time precious metals buyer or a seasoned investor, we're here to help.
Yes, thank you.
We are here to help, and we Shannon's dad has said this, and I think it's worth saying again. And this is our mantra in our business: is we want to provide the American people with as many ounces of silver and gold with as few paper dollars
as possible.
Yes. Because when you're buying it, you need to buy it close to spot. You need to check out who you're doing business with. And I mean, we would love it if you would at least give us a call, even if we're not going to ask for a sell, even if you just give us a call and talk to us. We're happy to help you in your investment journey on precious metals.
So thank you for listening to CMI Gold and Silver's Johnny on the Spot Precious Metals Show on KKNT 960 The Patriot. And to celebrate our first month on the air, we're giving away a silver mystery box worth $500. We also have prizes for runners-up. So tune in every Saturday during the month of September. During each episode, we'll share a secret phrase. Today's phrase is junk silver. Collect all 4 secret phrases from each show at the end of September after the last phrase is provided. You just send us your information, your phrases at info@cmigs.com to win one of the many prizes. You're going to get something for playing even if you're not the very first one with your email.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you very much.